Welcome to Learning Unit number 3. And this is a learning unit on about studying vulnerable populations. So we're going to start by furthering our knowledge of the social determinants of health, and especially in relation to the ethical concepts of social justice and healthcare equity. We're going to then look at trauma-informed care and adverse childhood experiences, especially the ACEs that many vulnerable populations experience. And we're going to finish our unit through developing, and you're going to be submitting a mind map of the social determinants of health that impact on your chosen vulnerable population group, or just vulnerable population. So by the end of this week, you're going to be able to explore social justice and health equity in the context of vulnerable pops. You're going to examine the social determinants of health as they relate to the population that you have selected to develop expertise in this course, and discover ways in which ACEs impact on the health of vulnerable populations and ways in which nurse leaders can help to assure the provision of trauma-informed care. So you're going to do that in a number of different ways. You're starting off, as always, by watching this video to kind of lead you through the week. The reading is going to be Chapter 9, and again, that's from your text. And you're going to watch a couple of just very brief videos. This is one on social determinants of health. You're also going to find another good resource for social determinants of health found within the assignment tab for your mind map, and that's going to be the Healthy People 2030. But I kind of separated that out. But for the purposes of this learning unit, this is the first video for social determinants of health. And there is another video about nurses as far as having the ability to influence health equity. And as quoted within this video, social determinants of health account for up to 80% of a person's health outcomes. So I just want you to really take a moment to begin to digest that statement. Social determinants of health account for up to 80% of a person's health outcomes. Hence, the importance of looking at social determinants of health in the care that we provide. Within that, trauma-informed care is essential. And the more I look at trauma-informed care, the more important it becomes to me, and recognizing that the vast majority, not just our vulnerable population groups, but the vast majority of those that we care for, of people in this world, have experienced trauma in one form or another. And especially ACEs, as far as adverse childhood experiences. So along with this very brief 3:33 3-minute video, you're going to read a very short article that came from Medscape just recently about teens who have had the number of teens that state they have experienced adverse childhood experiences related to COVID and mental health outcomes of those experiences. As you've gotten used to so far, you're doing your journaling, and your journal number 3, write about how you make sense of your loss that was identified in learning unit number 2. For our discussion board, begin by sharing with us the vulnerable population that you're going to focus on, why you chose this population. So that's some of the information from the first vulnerable population assignment of last learning unit. and then discuss the social determinants of health that impact on your patient or on your population in the general context of social justice and healthcare disparities. You're going to want to make sure you cite any readings of this week. And this is kind of almost exactly what you're doing here. In your mind map, you're doing a depiction of it. You're in here, you're writing out the social determinants of health and how they impact on your population. So you are really doing both things simultaneously. It's just how you're sharing that information, the ways in which you're expressing this. This would be in the written format, and this would be through a mind map. So for those of you who had the opportunity to join us on the Zoom in a couple of days ago, that recording, of course, is posted for those who couldn't, but we began a little bit by talking about mind maps. So this information can also be located in the left-hand tool tab called Assignments. And this is the assignment that is due at the close of this unit. And when you click on, I have put together a separate video that will help you perhaps work a little bit easier and better understand this assignment. And then I provided some examples. This one here was done by a student last year from this program. And here's a couple of other mind maps, not from our students, but that have been located on different websites. So you are making a mind map of your vulnerable population. And that mind map is going to is going to share with us the social determinants of health that specifically impact on your vulnerable population. Again, I've gone over some of those social determinants of health. Here's another excellent resource. It's the Healthy People 2030. You can click on this link, and again, it just reviews a little bit differently than the other ways of looking at social determinants of health. Now, you can use any program that you are most comfortable with, or you want to further evolve in your knowledge of how to use other programs. But one that I've used in the past that I thought was pretty user-friendly is eDrawMind. So how to go about downloading that and using that is right here, and how a brief video on how to get started with it is here if you should need that. This is the grading rubric, so this is giving you some real good ideas of what we're looking for, and you submit that assignment right in this drop box. So that's going to be the end of learning unit number 3. Kind of light on the content, this learning unit, to allow you the time to create, to be creative, to really have a chance to reflect on what you've been learning so far of your vulnerable population and bringing it together in a mind map.